Time now for our business update and turning to the World Economic Forum in Davos, where our business editor Kate Moody has been talking to industry and political leaders about what they're doing to support Ukraine. Here's her interview with the head of the European Bank of Reconstruction and Development.
Welcome back to the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. I'm here today with Odile Renaud-Basso. You're the president of the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. Thanks for being with us on France 24. Your organization was already present in Ukraine long before Russia's invasion about 3 months ago. What more aid or support have you been able to provide in response to President Zelensky's pleas?
So we've been shifting our support because we were investing a lot in Ukraine on long-term projects, CapEx investment, developing new capacities, renewable, and so forth. Now we focus very much on the support, emergency support to the economy, providing liquidity support to important infrastructure such as electricity, railway, gas company, and also support from our private sector clients in the agribusiness, for example, or pharmaceutical business, retail, financing, trade. So it's very much, we shifted the kind of support to help key players in the economy, such as big public companies or private sectors companies, to continue doing business and to keep the economy afloat. It's a very different type of activity.
So there's certainly a certain sense of urgency at the moment, but you're also already looking ahead to trying to help Ukraine rebuild and the reconstruction of Ukraine, hopefully after this war is over.
Yes, of course, this is something we are working and thinking how to best organize, because it will be a huge effort from the international community for IFIs, international financial institutions like EBRD, and I guess the EBRD will be ready and able to play a very important role because of our historical role in Ukraine and our very deep knowledge of the country and deep connection with key private sector clients and so forth. And but also it would be a big effort on Ukrainian side to get organized and structured about how to plan and to accompany investment with the reform agenda, because the country needs to be rebuilt in a better way, with a green transition, but also very sound, solid institution, legal system, judicial institution, and so forth. So there is a lot of work going ahead, but everybody's starting to think about how to get organized to do that.
We know that the humanitarian toll of this war is immeasurable, really, but can you give us an idea of the economic cost, both for Ukraine and the region?
It's very difficult to have the cost of destruction. Infrastructure and housing destruction is estimated between 70, 90 billions, but of course there is also a big loss of GDP. Our estimate, most recent estimate for the recession in Ukraine in 2022 is minus 30%, and this can be seen still as relatively optimistic because the assumption, it relies on an hypothesis of a ceasefire by the end of the summer. So I think that it represents a huge loss of GDP and loss also of human capital because of all the refugee outflows, and which is really a loss for the country. So they may come back, but in the short term, it's a very challenging issue.
More than 6.5 million refugees have already fled Ukraine. It doesn't seem they're going to be able to go back home anytime soon. What kind of support are you able to give them in the short term, and perhaps looking ahead, helping to integrate them into a new labor market?
So what we are aiming to do is to support municipalities and the countries receiving a large inflows of refugees and helping them with, building infrastructure, developing a solution to help people with housing, but also schooling and so forth. And we also aim at, helping people to find job, to get integrated. For example, we work with a platform in an IT platform in Poland, which helps refugees to find job in the country where they are. So I think that's the kind of support and really working hand in hand with the local authorities to find the best solution.
And while there is rightly a lot of focus on Ukraine at the moment, there are still a lot of areas around the world that still need your help.
Yes, because this war on Ukraine has huge effect on the world economy and on all developing and emerging countries through different means. Increase of the energy and food prices, and this creates big challenges for a number of countries which are really struggling with this new cost. And impact on inflation, which has an impact overall on the level of activity, through monetary policy and so forth. So this creates, I mean, and there is the risk, the looming risk, which has been very much discussed here, of food crisis, in terms of, which could have an impact in terms of capacity to access necessary grains for a number of countries like in the CEMED region or for sub-Saharan Africa. And I think we are all trying to find ways to weather this impact, to reduce the likelihood of such a big crisis, but this is a very, I mean, a big concern on our side.
Odile Renaud-Basso, thank you so much for joining us on France 24, and thank you for watching. Stay tuned, there's more coming up.